I don't know if you heard Bill Hutchinson shortly after the election. I think actually it was on election night, after he won a nail-biter in Regina South. Bill said something that stuck with me. He said, if we had done one thing less in our campaign, we wouldn't have won. If we had knocked one less door, if we had put up one less sign, if we had made one less call, if we had reached out to one less individual, we would not have won. I guess the lesson is this. There was not much point sitting around after the last election trying to figure out who had the most important jobs. Because of course they were all important. Every job was key. Every volunteer was important. And if we'd have done one less thing, if we would have engaged one less volunteer, we wouldn't have won. Sometimes those jobs are called thankless. I want you to know that for as long as I am the leader of this party, there will be no thankless jobs, because we will always remember to tell the people who got us elected, all of you in this room and the thousands you represent across the province, thank you. Thank you for what you did in that last election campaign. You know, delegates, by the way, thank you for being here to make this the largest convention ever. We appreciate your support and your attendance. And those guests who have joined us for lunch, some special guests I know have been introduced. Alphonse, it's great to see you here, sir. But it's been a while since we've got together. Almost a year and a half since we gathered together as a party. So what's new? Well, clearly much has changed. For Tammy and for me and for our family, for many people in this room, but for us, I'll just talk briefly about for a minute if I can. It's really been a whirlwind. My first official duty as Premier of the province of That's okay. My first official duty as Premier of Saskatchewan was to go to Grey Cup and represent the province about 3 days after we were sworn in. And it's really been pretty amazing and sometimes surreal ever since then. From a Premier snowmobile rally, the first one ever in Hudson Bay, to speeches in New York and in Washington, to bringing greetings and speaking at provincial bodybuilding contests. And I want to stress I was only bringing greetings, shocking as it may seem to many of you. From being able to address crowds here in our province, but outside of Saskatchewan, and to tell the Saskatchewan story, it has been just a very humbling year for us. And there have been many surreal conversations and moments even in our home, including one where this actual conversation took place. Honey, can you stop the vacuuming? The Prime Minister is about to call. So, of course, I put down the vacuum. Tammy will tell you that Tammy was vacuuming actually, and I want you to know that it isn't just the politicians that spin, sometimes the spouses spin as well. There have been for us and for a new government a lifetime of highlights in just a single year, moments that we are very thankful for, moments that we will never forget, moments that are humbling in every sense of the word. Some of the moments have been very weighty. All the officious sort of ceremonial things that happen when you form a government that you really don't think about, that you're not aware as you head into the campaign, as you fight the campaign. These ceremonial moments really bring things home. I can tell you on behalf of all of us who got sworn in as new MLAs in the government, cabinet ministers, chairs of committee, and myself. But there was no event more weighty. There was no event more weighty for Everett and I, and many of you will know Everett. He's my assistant. By the way, I want to thank him very much. He's been with me for a very long time, putting up with me, and has done a great job. Everett, thank you very much. And he and I shared maybe the most weighty, the most ceremonial moment of all, when we were handed what we now call the clicker of power. There is an iron gate that opens up to the private drive to Government House that is reserved for the Lieutenant Governor. And that gate opens up with a clicker. The Lieutenant Governor has a clicker, and the Premier of the province of Saskatchewan has a clicker. And I can tell you that we were given that clicker by His Honor, the chance to open that gate and visit him as his First Minister. And I'd like to be able to stand here today and tell you that Everett and I are mature enough that we wouldn't park outside that private drive and go, gate goes open, gate goes down. But I cannot tell you that.